U.S. apartment rentals just saw their largest October decline in 15 years. The U.S. lost an average of over 11,000 private sector jobs over the past 4 weeks, ending October 25th. Why Trump just pushed for a 50-year mortgage? What is going on? A 180-month auto loan is now being offered in the United States as well in an attempt to lower monthly car payments. Guys, I have been talking about it. We've been talking about it. A 50-year mortgage being introduced, a 180-month auto loan being introduced, gold rising, silver rising, the dollar weakening. There's so much going on. We're losing jobs. Apartment rentals are at the steepest decline in 15 years. Our GDP is going to show that we are in a recession, and we need to extend these loans in order to hide that. Our economy is run on debt right now, and if people can't borrow and spend more money, then we end up running out. We end up running out of steam. We end up running out of collateral. So what do? We extend it to a longer period and offer a 50-year mortgage, offer further car loans, and who knows what comes next. That way it shows that people who can't afford anything on paper are affording something. They're spending money. They're forcefully spending money. Our economy is not in a good situation. And I know I sound like the bearer of bad news here, and everyone's talking about the AI bubble and all this other stuff, but the proof is in the pudding. All you got to do is figure out, why are these things happening? Just dig deeper into the picture. Now, Warren Buffett dropped his Thanksgiving letter today as well. Warren Buffett to no longer write annual reports. This guy is finally retiring, and he is going quiet. So happy retirement. And the Senate just forwarded the bill basically to end the government shutdown to the House. That is expected now to end the government shutdown Thursday or Friday. SoftBank will do a 1-for-4 stock split effective January 1st. The last times they did this was right before a major market crash in June of 2019, in January of 2006, and in June of 2000. SoftBank also sold their entire stake in Nvidia. Speaking of SoftBank, and that stake was a big stake. That was almost $6 billion. $6 billion was sold in Nvidia. In the past couple weeks, a lot of these stocks have been talking about how banks are having issues with tight liquidity. We've been looking at the repo market, the reverse repo market. But people are saying, yeah, you've been wrong. You're always wrong here. But the markets are painting a different picture than what some haters are commenting here. And the news is painting a different picture than what some haters are commenting here. Nvidia, as well as some other stocks like the Mag 7, are holding up the market. Nvidia, Meta. Nvidia is breaking this support right here at 194.40. Watching it continue to sell off, down 3.5%. Meta also selling off even further, even after bleeding quite a bit here. And speaking of Meta, this is kind of bad news as well. It's not kind of bad news. It is bad news. The Meta chief artificial intelligence scientist, a Turing Award winner who is considered one of the pioneers of modern AI, will leave Meta and begin their own startup. That's not good for the company. That is not good for almost a $2 trillion company. Okay, speaking of Meta, they announced they entered into a new 5-year agreement with NBIS, valued at approximately $3 billion in capacity, representing the company's second major AI infrastructure deal. NBIS has been doing pretty well, but I don't believe it's actually pumping off of today's news. That's for another video. CoreWeave insiders also began to sell out all their positions ahead of their earnings, and then CoreWeave guided lower earnings, right? The AI sector right now, it's just having a hiccup. I'm not saying things are crashing yet. It's just having a hiccup. Now the McRib is back. Everyone's probably seeing this on X or on their Instagram or whatever feed that you go on to check out for stock market stuff. The McRib, the last time it's returned, signaled major Bitcoin rally every time it led to explosive price action. It sounds stupid, but you can look at the chart right here. Will that happen? Probably not. And even then, you can see that a couple of the times where that happened, we actually had a very hard crash not too long after. People are saying we see a rally, but actually we see a pop for a few weeks and then a crash, a pop for a few weeks, crash, a pop. That one actually was a good run. Pop for a couple weeks, crash, right? Will we see that pop? Well, I'll talk about it in 1 second. But what does this look like to you? This is MicroStrategy, but what does this exactly look like? This looks like the exact pattern we're playing out, Lottery Stocks. Well, right here, we saw a cross to the downside. This was January of 2022. We saw a death cross to the downside on the daily time frame. Following that, MicroStrategy ended up crashing basically for the entire year all the way into January of 2023 for a full year of crashing. We know what the market did then as well. The market basically just crashed and crashed and crashed throughout 2022. What do we have? We have a death cross again on MicroStrategy for October of 2025, indicating that we are going to sell off for quite some time, which would also indicate that Bitcoin's 4-year cycle is likely to play out for more downside, but we'll talk about that very briefly in a moment. The pattern that this chart is playing out is nearly identical to what we saw back here before this golden cross and then sell off for quite some time. I would watch, if this is the case, for MicroStrategy to crash and build a base between 120 and 180, right? Somewhere in that range. Speaking of that, reason being, it's continuing to crash because Bitcoin keeps failing. It's now trading at 103K. Given it is sort of making higher highs and higher lows, building its momentum here. If we get a bounce at 103, that would be best case scenario for today, or 104, right? If we get a bounce here, 103, 104, and then continue to rally, we could still have that 131K on the table, which is what I said we would hit, but we came all the way up and didn't quite get it all the way up to 126 as we lost momentum. If Bitcoin breaks below 98K again, I think that we're really in bear territory and it's not looking good. Based on the volume candles on Bitcoin alongside the market, it has still consistently shown that big money is exiting while everybody is remaining optimistic. I feel for you guys. I really do. Okay? But the optimism right now is not what should be, in my opinion. Not financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor at all. I'm just a dude on YouTube. I'm not saying confident one way or the other. All I'm saying is caution, 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 caution. A week ago, I said volatility between now and December 1st with a slight bearish bias and a possible government reopen being a negative catalyst. Volatility, check. Bearish bias, check. Government reopen, possibly end of this week, check. Negative catalyst, we're going to find out. End of QT, pump. That was my last call out. We will see when December comes. Okay. All of this. I want a crash into December and I want the Fed to step in and, turn that money printer on again. IWM continuing to fall, getting a rejection, watching for more downside. Maybe when this video is over, we see a pump in the market. Who really knows what's going on? But if we take a closer look, I'll take a closer look very briefly before we move on, just so I can kind of give you guys an idea as to what's happening. Yesterday, okay, let's bring it up in Discord real quick. Yesterday, this is what we posted, 10:40 a.m. right after market open, a pop up into this box before selling off and coming lower. And right now, this is what the chart looks like. It came up, failed this box so far, and now it is slowly going lower. Were we wrong? So far, not yet. So far, not yet. That would have brought us right back into this box, sub 674. Okay. From there on out, we didn't have anything drawn out. That would also base you on this descending support level, this green line right here, this descending support level. And will the SPY break following that? Possibly, right? I would still like 655 to happen. Now, SoFi just brought crypto trading back, becoming the first nationally chartered consumer bank to let members transact Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Solana directly in the app. They're also moving toward a USD stablecoin by late this year, which tells you they want to own their full digital asset on RIP. SoFi is a stock that we've had for quite some time, and it has been doing very well. And I want to give a couple other stocks that we've been holding that have also been doing very well. BBAI, Big Bear AI. Insiders, institutions have been buying this up, and it just smashed earnings, coming up all the way 20%. This is a stock that we have had, and I'll put up the receipts right here, or I'll just pull up the Discord real quick and show you that we had BBAI position. We had other positions as well, probably some shares in there as well. Eli Lilly, Another one we added to long-term portfolio before, and we are at price discovery, entering all-time highs right now, past 675. Moving on, you can't convince me that UBS is not holding a detrimental GME bag from Credit Suisse. UBS delayed migration of some super rich Credit Suisse clients. There's a lot going on. There's a lot going on with the swaps. There's a lot going on with what people say is the carry trade. I actually didn't have GameStop's chart here because I wanted to save it for another video as to kind of what's going on. But here's the bias, right? And it's not bias. It's just genuinely what's happening. Before I show you that, another Citadel executive just departed from Citadel after only being there for 2 months. Okay, 2 months. That is Laura Sterner, head of BD for Global Equities, resigned. Okay, amid ongoing turnover at the hedge fund giant. Not sure exactly what's going on there. Before I jump into GameStop's chart, I posted this yesterday. November 11th. Will the bond markets be open on November 11th? No. What does that mean and why? Well, they're closed for Veterans Day. Shout out to all the veterans watching the video. I appreciate your service, guys. Thank you so much. Stocks, especially small caps, could see sharper upward or downward moves. Thin liquidity might amplify reactions to news or institutional trades. If we begin to sell off today, expect that sell-off to accelerate on low liquidity. But let's talk about our plays. Right now, they are continuing to go down. GameStop, AMC, continuing to go down. AMC was supposed to come to 230 to 215. GameStop supposed to come down and test this trend line right around 20 even, maybe slightly under to 1920, 1940 before rallying higher coming into December. Still stand by that. Nothing has changed. As much as people want it to change, nothing has changed just yet, and we'll stand by it until something shifts or rotates. Okay, that has to be understood. What else do I want to note? As the capital rotates out of the Mag 7, like Meta, Nvidia, Microsoft, Google, Apple, Tesla, when the money rotates, which is kind of what we're beginning to see, that is holding 30 to 40% of our entire stock market up. Where is that money going to go? Likely small caps. Likely small caps. Once this fragility and volatility is over very soon, I believe we see our short squeeze happen, which lines up with this perfect U formation into a mega squeeze coming into mid-late December, right? That is still my outlook, and it hasn't changed just yet. But I appreciate you guys watching the video again. Drop a comment. The top 2 links in my description of my video are for my Discord server where we talk stocks and crypto all day long. I post my trades as soon as I take them, and we have tons of AI alerts that if you went somewhere else for, you would pay hundreds and hundreds a month. So the Discord will pay for itself immediately, likely, right? No guarantees of anything. Again, top 2 links, custom indicator, as well as my Discord. And if you want to join instead of through WAP, but through LaunchPass, I have another link below those links, below my socials, that will sign you up to Discord through LaunchPass. Both links are the same thing. One just goes through LaunchPass, one just goes through WAP, whatever you would prefer. But I urge you, if you're not in or have never been in, please join the Discord server. If you take trading seriously, it's not going to hinder your account. That is it, guys. I love you all. God bless. Lottery Stocks out.